All right,
Okay, okay.
hello. Welcome back to Real Conversations. I'm your host, Buzz, and today we're here with Ryan Chu, the director of the short film Deep Fears. Now, before we get started, Ryan, can you go ahead and give us a little, like a brief background about your filmmaking career or what all you've done and whatnot?
Deep Fears is my very first film to my name. It's a thesis film for college before I graduated. Before that, I only had like a couple credits for for two projects, like one for my internship and for another for my professor's own film called Nothing to Say. Um, and it wasn't only just my first film, like pretty much everyone involved in my film, it was their first film too. We were just going off of what we know from watching other people's work, and yeah, there's a lot of touch of personal stuff behind the story, but yeah, just it was just amateur work. We didn't expect too much like when we finished it, but we were really proud of what we've done, and we got like a bunch of like overwhelming responses from it, like since we started last year with the film festival circuit, and yeah, it's been one wild ride with our first film. Yeah.
Well, good. That's great. Congratulations on your first film and it being received very well. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Way to
yeah,
go.
thank you. Mm.
Um, Now, I wanted to ask you about like the animation style. Like, why did you choose it to look that specific way? And like, how did you go about animating the film?
Well, two reasons. The first reason is like I want it to be family friendly and simple. I do want it to give it like the classic like 2D animation look. The second one is being practical. We don't know too much about we don't know too much, and we don't have enough time to learn 3D and After Effects, and plus it'll take too much time if even if we do know all that stuff. So like really, Deep Fears was like a practical and appropriate film to do in the way that we did because well, again, like it's for kids, it's like family friendly. I want it to look simple, something like it's easy for the eyes, and it's also simple for us when we produce. And but at the same time, we can't be too ambitious. We had like less than a year to produce this film, and we couldn't even make it too long either. So we gotta work to the bone. We have to like work like bare bones here. But yeah, I mean, we worked under the, like the phrase like less is more. So, there's no need to worry about like voice acting, no need to worry about like lip sync animations. Just like animate like a really like cute animals, and just try to tell a story through there. And yeah, and plus like 2D animation, like all of us have like a special place in our hearts for 2D work. So yeah, we just really enjoyed the way that we did it that way. So yeah.
Perfect. And you had mentioned like earlier on how like the story was like kind of impactful for you. Could you explain like what really inspired like the choice to tell this story of like the sea otter?
Um, there's two reasons. I always do things like more than one reason, but there's two reasons. First one is my mom. My mom unfortunately passed away back in 2018 suddenly, and before she passed away, I actually wanted to animate something that she would have liked before I graduated, just to show that I understand how to demonstrate that I have range. I usually like to draw and talk about like more action packed genre stuff, with like weapons and action and like drama. But my mom, she always supported me with animation. Um, she, but I could get a sense that she preferred something more like slice of life, something cute, and something like with animals. And she knew that my favorite animal was sea otters. So she was hoping that I wanted to do something like that, and actually I wanted to as well, but she didn't know. And again, it was a very unfortunate and sudden incident that happened. So Deep Fears was in a way like a message to my mom, like saying like, hey, thank you for supporting me, and like, thank you for like supporting my passion. And I really wanted to make a Pixar Miyazaki kind of thing, the kind of stuff that she likes. um Now for the second reason was for my friends as well. It was for my friends essentially, but like after when my mom passed away, my friends like really like came out and really supported me. They really wanted to help. They were really supportive, and some of my friends actually is part of the Deep Fears team. um they knew about the story. I didn't really want to talk about what happened with my mom. Like most people did not know. They actually did not know that Deep Fears was for her. Nor that they knew that my mom passed away at the time. They just knew that I just wanted to make a film about friendship. So like, yeah, they wanted to support me, and yeah, a couple of them were part of the team that helped animate it and critiqued it, criticized it, and make sure that Deep Fears was a good story. So to sum it up, what inspired me to do Deep Fears was my mom, my friends, and yeah, it's a small reason because I like Sea Otter, so it's my favorite. Well, childhood. It's a childhood character, so just always wanted to do one, but things happen, so made a film about those three three
Yeah.
subjects. Mm.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a sweet, like I could definitely tell that it was definitely like there was something behind like everything that was going on. So it's a super sweet like homage to your mother.
Mm.
Um, and like the whole friendship thing that really shows throughout the film is like that's super important to have those friends that are there for you.
Mm.
So it was very good. It was like a super kid friendly, but also you could tell there was more behind it than just, oh, it's cute animals, you know. So that was awesome. Very well done.
Thank you.
Um, and like a creative choice I was wondering about was, so the first time like the sea otter like loses his necklace and goes underwater, all of a sudden like the color shifts and there's like no color. And then like when he gets saved by that's just a seal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a seal. Yeah,
seal.
harbor
Right.
seal. Yeah.
I'm not too big into animals, so I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah,
Um,
but at the same time, the characters are designed pretty simple. I mean, the sea otter was mistaken to be like a meerkat one time for some reason. Someone thought he was like a squirrel. It's like why would a squirrel be in water? I just
yeah.
but anyways, forget it. So yeah, what was your question?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
So just like, why did you choose like when the sea otter was like struggling to go to like a lack of color, and then when like he learned how to swim underwater and like wasn't afraid, he everything opened up.
Well, first off, good eye. Some people like miss that big detail when he was drowning. So what I wanted to try to do with Deep Fears was to keep things in the present. I didn't want there to be flashbacks. I didn't want there to be like a dream sequence or like he fainted and he dreamed. I mean, I like yeah, it's a little pretentious to do. But like from personally for me, I always like to be try to keep things realistic and just have like the audience be there in the moment and don't be too um expositional, like over explain things. And then, plus they're animals, they can't talk, they don't know English. So like yeah, that's as far as I went. Well, but at the same time, it's not like we had the budget to like get voice actors anyways. So anyways, yeah, less and more, less is more. So anyways, yeah, that scene where the sea otter was drowning, that was supposed to be like uh, like a very subtle explanation why he's afraid. Because again, like it's in the present, but he has like there must be a reason why a sea otter is afraid of the sea. So what's the next best thing? Well, for starters, it's not to kidnap a sea otter and traumatize it and be like, okay, you can't be in the water, it's like poison. No, like it has to be natural, you know. Yeah, again, like, it goes that far. So like um the sea otter, okay, like if you know the animal sea otters, you know, they have like this kind of natural like family values kind of thing. Um, like you know the mom is like always with the baby, like the baby's like sleeping on her stomach every time they swim. So like you know what happens when you take away the mom, all right? And again, like keep in mind of like what I've been through in the past. It's a really traumatizing thing to lose someone who's been there since forever, and that's what happened with the sea otter. And going back to the scene, that's the reason why he's afraid of the sea, the ocean. It's not the water, it's not the ocean. It's just that what it reminded him of. And as he was drowning at that time, um, the he hallucinated a little bit of his past, where he wasn't only losing his necklace, he was losing his mom. Um, and yeah, the necklace, like you know, like you wonder, like where did he get the necklace from? Like how did he make that? Like he didn't make that. It was like a heirloom. It was like a thing that was passed down to him, and he managed to save the necklace, but not his mom. So you know that's what happened. And also like you know it doesn't change the fact that he's afraid of the ocean itself. So you know when he was drowning, he was like in panic mode. Like you know he can't see anything. It was all black and white and gray. He was gray. But he had someone that helped him go through it, and that's the seal. You know, I gotta help you. So like, hey, and the seal notices that the sea otter is afraid of the ocean when he helps him surface and the water splashes him and like freaking hugs him for like you know for support. And it was like, oh, okay, I gotta show you that the ocean's like okay. So when they went down with the help of the seal, he slowly realizes that the ocean was fine, and that's when all the color came back and all the different fishes and like that shark in the background. That was like, oh my god, it's a colorful thing. And you know, sea otters, they're supposed to like kelp forests. They're supposed to like underwater stuff. So like you know, all the color went back with the help of the seal. So but yeah, like deep fears, like again, like everything's supposed to be subtle, like in the present, like no flashbacks, no like so dramatic, like oh my god, mom, like my mom just got eaten by a whale or something. Like no, it doesn't really happen. It's just a very simple traumatic event that happened in his past, and well, at the same time, I didn't want to overcomplicate things, so so like, yeah, if people were to accept that the sea otter is afraid of the ocean just because, then yeah, that's fine. You know, it is fine. But at the same time, and especially with me, which I hope to do more in other projects that I'm working on, um, you know, things don't just happen just for one reason, especially if the reason is like shallow or something. It's not shallow. Is it's deep. You know, deep fears. So
Aha.
so yeah. By the way, I got it printed a long time ago. But like, but yeah. Like a lot of things happen. Like we don't know, and like since they're animals, like we seriously just don't know because well, again, they don't speak English. So how can we know? But anyways, yeah. But yeah, like yeah, people yeah, that scene, it almost got like cut, by the way, like uh, because a professor was like saying like you know like oh I kind of understand why it happened, but you know we need to cut it out. It was like what? We're not gonna cut it out. No, I mean like again I'm not too worried about people misinterpreting the stories like oh the sea otter's afraid of the sea just because oh, but you know like, I always believe that there's always like a reason that we don't see ourselves. And like, yeah, like in that scene where he's drowning and he's seeing like hallucination as his necklace is falling. It was in his POV. Um, now, I mean, the seal, he didn't see that. He didn't know. He didn't know, and he's probably gonna live and die never knowing that the sea otter lost his mom, and also like, if seals and sea otters can talk, it's like seal language and sea otter. I mean, like, no, like they can't understand each other. But like, hey, just it's the universal action of helping others, and being friends. So but yeah, just deep fears is supposed to be deep, and uh, yeah, and yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, you're right. There was a lot going on in the background, even though it's not so direct. But like, yeah, it's not supposed to be too shallow. I mean, again, it's okay to like think like, oh, again, it's like it's a really funny surreal situation, like an animal that doesn't like to be in its natural environment. But yeah, there's always a reason. There's always a big reason. Mm,
Nice.
mm.
Um, so those are those are all the questions I have for you.
Oh,
Is there
all right.
anything else that you want people to know about your film, or like any future projects that you're coming up on, or like a place to find you and like see what you're doing next on social media or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I do have like another project that is being developed right now. It's for a more mature audience, something that's along my street. It's here. Let me see if I could like take out a picture. Actually, here, I actually got this printed out by the way. So yeah. Um, okay. It's I'm producing this. That's oh, is it like mirrored or something?
No,
So
I
it's
can
like,
read it just
oh,
fine.
okay. Yeah, I'm working on this.
Nice.
It's supposed to be like basically vigilantes, triads, and police officers in in a corrupt city. It's like a vigilante thing, and yeah, like the cast is like Asian majority, and I gathered the voice actors and everything. But anyways, it's an action thing. It's supposed to be violent, it's supposed to be action, it's supposed to be like a little bit vulgar, but it's fun, like Tarantino s that kind of thing. Again, like this is like along those things that I would naturally like to make. But yeah. But I'm working on it right now. I post on my like personal art thing account, like Ryan Chu art at Ryan Chu art, Instagram mostly. I did like post like a couple things related to it, like a movie bumper, like a warning, like, oh, they're like, this is like for mature audiences, and a scene that like I managed to animate and composite myself. I'm learning After Effects right now. I mean, I wish I did for like D-Fears, but again, there was like no time. But yeah, I'm trying to like new things with this project. So it's gonna be really interesting. It has voice actors, it has weapon play. It has Asian name puns. Because like, come on, like we gotta laugh for that. And yeah. But anyways, yeah, Deep Fears, it's very appreciative of how many festivals, big, small, and local and international, has enjoyed it. It's not the best film. It's not. It's a first film, and usually the first film is like the worst. And like I accept that. But like, this has a special place in my heart. And I mean, I printed it out for God's sakes. Like, this is like a full size, by the way. I know a guy who could print things cheap, but yeah, just really proud that it done so well. I mean, it was very unexpected. I mean, we're not self-deprecating. I mean, we really believe that the film's great, not the best, not Oscar worthy, but great for what happened. But yeah, just like Deep Fears is become. I mean, again, special place in my heart. It's a good film, but like, becoming a little bit old news. Got to push forward into something that I'm usually into, which is like Tila, Trouble in Little Asia, and yeah. I'm gonna like post more stuff about it later on, like throughout the summer, at at Ryan Chu art in Instagram and everywhere else. So yeah, and also like studying to be a better storyboard artist later. So that's on the side as well. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing everything.
Mm.
And thank you again so much for your time. It was awesome to get to know a little bit more about what inspired you to make, Deep Fears and everything that went into it. It was awesome.
Mm. Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. Yeah, and thanks for inviting me for the
Absolutely.
Q&A. Yeah, yeah. I hope everyone like enjoys it at the festival later on.
Well, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they
Mm.
will.
Mhm.